All right, guys, good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday, the 14th of June. And all right, we'll get diving in here. I'll get you in and get you out. I think I put a fresh spreadsheet here in the alert section. Yeah, indeed I did. But all right, guys, happy Saturday. So, indexes overall market took a little bit of a breather this week. And of course, you got the news with Iran and Israel, which could escalate over the weekend, could get better over the weekend. But in terms of the market, I don't think too much has changed bigger picture. If anything, more of a cool off here in the short term. And we go from bullish to neutral bullish. So if you look at maybe a QQQ weekly chart, all right, nothing's changed here. You have perfect 15 points. You got good trend. The structure of the chart is bullish, good momentum. And speaking of momentum, this is your first positive momentum cross since back here in January, February. So weekly charts looking bullish, and then the daily QQQ. Again, no real change. You have 13 points out of 15. No structure issue. Good momentum. Good trend. But maybe a little bit of that reversion to the mean theme. Hey, trap the shorts. They get the big move going. Big push off the bottom. And eventually, price has to come back to that 21 EMA. Then you're looking at your lower time frames. Your 4-hour chart's just neutral. Do I think it makes for a great short? No. Do I think it makes for a great long yet? Not really. Your 2-hour chart is neutral. Your 1-hour chart leans a little bit negative, -4. Then you've got a sell signal on the 15-minute and the 5-minute. If they can keep the price above that 520, which is your daily 21 EMA and your spot gamma put wall, if they can keep it above that 520, I think it's a buy on your next 15-minute, 30-minute hourly buy signal. Now, it could be a case of they pull back, they break 520, we get 1-2 closes back below that 21 EMA. Market might get a little bit more slippery. But I think in good shape above the buy zone. And then for a few of these scores here, so the indexes dropped down to 31% of max strength. And I think they got up to maybe 75 to 80%. The Big Ten basket drops down to 41%, and the sectors drop down to 35%. And then, looking through a few of these sectors here, transports are negative, XLP's negative, healthcare is ever so slightly negative. Biotech pretty neutral. Very quickly, healthcare, financials, very quickly, financials going back to neutral. Not ideal for a JP Morgan trade, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America. Got the XLY, XLB, and then who's looking bullish? The good would be gold. Gold's got 97%. And then utilities, silver, the ARK ETF, here's XLK, the Big Ten, and the SMH. Right, no huge problems. If you got the SMH down here, negative scores, the XLK down there, Big Ten down there, negative scores, that can have a bigger impact on the market. If it's a weaker transports, a weaker XLP, and an overall pretty good XLK SMH, indexes should be in decent shape. And then looking through the Big Ten here, Apple remains a pretty big issue. Negative 77 for the Big Apple. And then check out this 4-hour squeeze. She could be a bit troublesome. Thing to keep in mind, last 2, 3, 4 weeks or so, you've had a strong QQQ, strong S&Ps, a strong Meta, Microsoft, Broadcom, etc., all while you've had a really weak Apple. And I think the market can fight that fight for a little bit. Right, down goes Apple, up goes Microsoft, up goes Broadcom. If Apple really begins to break down, just from a weighting perspective, can put a lot of pressure on the indexes. So here's the Big Apple with a -10 on the daily chart. The trend is shifted bearish. Structure is shifted bearish. And then I think the problem child here would be that 4-hour squeeze. 4-hour squeeze, white arrow, -15. So for conversation's sake, if they take that squeeze and break it short, you're maybe going to get Apple down to about 190. The question at that point would be Apple down to 190. Can the QQQ hold above that 520? All the moving pieces. But yeah, that's the biggest issue in the Big Ten. And then, frankly, the rest not too bad. Google's got a beautiful monthly squeeze. Tesla's been kind of here, there, and everywhere. Although I do like Tesla a little bit more back above that daily 21. And then Amazon, Netflix not too bad. Brand new daily squeeze for Netflix. And then Meta, Nvidia, TSM, Broadcom, Microsoft. So really it's just Apple. And if this was a DoorDash or a John Deere, a Roku, etc., it wouldn't be that big of a deal. Point being, go look at the master list tab here. You've got a lot of things out there with crappier scores. Down here you've got Lulu, Lowe's, Apple, Salesforce, Procter & Gamble, Home Depot, TMO, Nike, T-Mobile, Target, Pepsi. They're all pretty weak and pretty beaten down. We still have good bullish indexes. Get the Apple breaking down, a little bit of that could change. But aside from that, no huge issues. And then the top 10, the almighty top 10 would be Raytheon, Oracle, Palantir. Nice daily squeeze in Palantir. And we'll take a look at it. They did pop the put wall, the call wall rather, from 140 to 150. It's had a tough time getting through that 140. Maybe a little better luck next week. And then you got Philip Morris, Gold, our old pal Spotify, Dash, our old pal Crowd, AXON, KLAC. And then the rest here from the top 20 would be some Zscaler, XLU, GD. There's a nice multi-squeeze setting up in ABT. And then some silver, Micron, Microsoft, and the IBM. And then for your weaker names, to be clear, I'm not looking for a short. If I'm getting short right now, it's a 5-minute, 15-minute squeeze for a day trade, a quick scalp. If I've got indexes with buy signals above their daily 21 EMA, not thinking about a swing short. But if I were to get swing short, or even day trade short, we'd be looking at the KHCs, the Lulus, the Lows, TEM, ROST, the Big Apple, Procter & Gamble, Old Dominion, and then a few more from the top 20, the bottom 20. All right, Home Depot, some Nike, TTD, and Target. If you've got the indexes below their daily 21 EMA and you've got 15-minute sell signal, 30-minute hourly sell signals, you maybe transition a little bit more to that part of the spreadsheet. Index is weaker, index is breaking down. All right, who can I go short? But if they're above their buy zone with buy signals, thinking a little bit more about these guys. And then a few of my favorites would be Palantir dash Crowd. I guess I like Crowd so much I got it twice here. ABT, JP Morgan, and the Netflix. So we'll get working through a few of those there. But again, like I mentioned, the theme of reversion to the mean. All right, so your normal, healthy back and forth, the ebbing and the flowing of your market. So if we look at this Big Ten watch list, and I added the column here for average true range moves above and below that 21. And you got a few names like Microsoft, TSM. They're still decently far above that buy zone. Microsoft is about 2.5 ATR above it. TSM's about 2.3 above it. But you'll notice your Metas, Nvidias, Googles, Broadcom, Netflix, Teslas, that they've all kind of come back down to earth here. We have Meta about 1.3 ATR above that buy zone. Nvidia 1.2, Amazon down here at 1. And we can begin to look for really good entries when you're about 1 to maybe 1.25. 1 or 1.25. So Meta getting closer, Nvidia, Amazon, Google, Broadcom. So something like a Netflix could make for a great trade. You got to wait for the white arrow, of course. But if Netflix is half an average true range move above that buy zone, Then you got your daily squeeze coming through, the 4 hour, 1 hour. It's compression on top of the buy zone. Now we go and catch a white arrow, makes for usually a nice risk reward. You got the old Tesla right on top of it, and Apple about 1.2 ATR below it. So yeah, the reversion to the mean theme. And then squeezes here for the Big Ten. I don't think we'll open up flat Monday morning. If the news escalates in a bad fashion, I think we gap down. We get some peacemaking over the weekend, I think we could gap up. In the event we do open up flat, and I'm dead wrong, decent amount of 5-minute squeezes here. Which, you don't look at a 5-minute squeeze to trigger a massive move. But if you got a bunch at the open, it can make for a good gauge of initial direction. All right, Netflix 5-minute squeeze leans bearish. Broadcom a little bit more bearish. The rest are neutral. Nobody home on the 30, and then a few hourly squeezes. The Broadcom, the Netflix, Nvidia, and the Tesla. Okay, so working through a few of these. The Google. Like we talked about last week, it's a bigger picture idea. But I think a great spot for a bigger picture idea. All right, got Google off the bottom with your first round of fresh daily buy signals. Since going back to January, February. And then you've got this big boy here on the monthly squeeze. All right, this is back in November of 23. Pulls back a bit, prints a squeeze, gets a white arrow. Nice little 40-50% push. And they pull back, they chop a bit. Brand new monthly squeeze, brand new white arrow. Structure says, hey, let's go higher. Momentum says, hey, let's go higher. Trend looking for a breakout. Till things change, target around 220, 225-ish. But here's the thing. We could be talking about it in September, November. Still back here, 175, 180. They can take their sweet time. But man, when they get going, they get going. So I think the idea of a December expiration, a January expiration, could be a 200 call, could be a 160 call, could be a call fly, could be a debit spread, just something with enough time to work. It's a great risk-reward spot. You buy it at 175, you're wrong, back under 160. So call it 15, 20 bucks of risk. If they can break the thing out, you're looking at maybe 50, 60 bucks of reward. And then a little something I'm working on here for the weekend. I've got a label down here on the squeeze histogram that says Launchpad. So what Launchpad means is you have an A plus squeeze. All right, squeeze, score of 15, all the bells and whistles. You've got that, and you've got it right at that ideal buy zone. Which, again, I think is either right on top of your 21 EMA or about maybe 1.25 ATR above it. Launchpad is green, squeeze, white arrow, nice risk-reward entry. So by comparison, if you look at the Microsoft monthly squeeze, squeeze, white arrow, A plus setup, you don't have the green Launchpad label. You've got the bells and whistles. It's a little bit too far above that 21 EMA. You're long here at 475. I think you got to accept that 75 bucks of risk. It'll be a great looking monthly squeeze back down to 400. So I could buy it here. I might take a $75 pullback on the chin. Or they break it out, they push it another 40, maybe 50 bucks towards that 515-ish target. That can work, of course, but imagine I'm buying it back here at 420. I've got maybe 20, 30 points of risk in exchange for 80, 90 points of reward. If you can risk 20, 30 points to make 80 or 90, you're profitable with like a 30% win rate. So for Google, I think December expiration, a January expiration, set it and forget it kind of trade could be a great play there on the monthly squeeze. From that, we can jump over to some Tesla. Again, a little bit of the here, there, and the everywhere. You had the tweet battle, the flush, the pop. So I don't think it's the cleanest roadmap, but they've got a call wall up here at 350. And as we know, those call walls can be pretty magnetic. So call wall at 350 and your 21 EMA down here around 325-ish. It could be a nice short-term trade. Above that 325 on a 15-minute squeeze entry, 30-minute 1 hour. They've got a 1 hour and a 5. So imagine Monday morning, Tuesday morning. Here's Tesla 325-ish. 15-minute squeeze sets up, white arrow. The 1 hour squeeze setting up gets a white arrow. Could be a great trade for a path in the 350. Back below that 320-ish, more of the Tesla chopping. And then taking a quick peek here at TSM. Is it a great-looking chart? It's a really great-looking chart. Awesome structure, momentum, trend, a buy signal. It offers a better risk-reward entry for a swing trade, closer to maybe 205, 200. And nothing says TSM has to pull back to 205 or 200. But this is not, it's not Google on the monthly squeeze. I can't buy it, take a couple of points against me and say, all right, it's no longer a valid setup. If I buy the thing up here at 210, I should like it a lot down around 200. Now compare that to, say, a daily chart on your Netflix. And to me, in the short term, Netflix gets a lot more interesting. Huge push off the bottom. Pumping. Reversion to the mean. And now you're holding your ground above that 1200. Brand new daily squeeze setting up. It's not our trade right now, of course, but it could become our trade. Pull back to the mean. Couple days of chop. Print that daily squeeze. Then you wake up, you have 15-minute buy signal, 30-minute buy signal, hourly buy signal, white arrow on your daily squeeze. For me, the kind of thing I want to buy with, bigger than typical size. Big 10 name, big daily squeeze, recent leadership. We shall get there if we shall get there. But definitely got to keep an eye on that one. Now the goal will be, can they turn that launchpad label green? Squeeze white arrow in a really good entry. From that, jumping over to Broadcom. All right, if you like it up here at 265, I think you got to like it down around 240. All right, so perfect score of 15, trend, structure, momentum. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Anywhere above that 240-ish, you're looking for a 15-minute buy trigger, 30-minute hourly. And then we got the Broadcom call wall up at... They dropped it down to 240. Which is oddly below the current price. So watching that one, and then let's see, Amazon. Again, all kind of the same central theme. We've had a really strong market, led mainly by these Metas, Amazons, Broadcom, Microsoft, etc. Strong market, big move. Everything kind of working back to that buy zone. Whether it's the S&Ps, QQQ, Netflix, Amazon, Meta, it's kind of the same idea. Let them pull back to or towards their 21 EMA. And if they can hold support and structure there, 15-minute buy signals come through, 30-minute, 1 hour, all the above. That's your spot. Jump in and buy it. Can we find our next round of A-plus squeezes near our daily 21 EMAs? If it's Amazon, Google, we'll take them where we can get them. But same idea across the board. The Microsoft here. Right, Microsoft could pull back about $15. Still a beautiful monthly squeeze, still a really good looking daily chart. And then let's go see, again, Apple on the 4-hour chart could be a problem child. So I think in the short term, the best case scenario here for the bulls, as far as Apple goes, getting it and keeping it back above that 205-ish. They flirted with the idea. All right, we're popping 205 and back below, 205 back below. They gave it a good shot and right back down. But all right, guys, so in terms of the Big Ten basket, nothing really immediate for Monday morning. No perfect 15-minute squeezes, 30-minute daily. You got a couple monthly squeezes, Microsoft and Google. But again, game plan will be, one, can they hold their daily 21 EMAs? And then two, if they can, above their daily 21 EMAs, can we find our trigger to buy it on a daily squeeze, a 15-minute, a 30-minute? And then third, the other goal being, can we find that moment in time, not in the name in the middle of the pack, not in the bottom of the barrel name, the cream of the crop. Top 5, 10, maybe 15 strongest names on the board. Okay, quick run through the Big Ten, and now on to a few of the more good-looking spots here in the market. So Palantir. So like I mentioned, they took the call wall from, based on yesterday's close, call wall goes from 140 into 150. And you can see how tough it can be to get through that call wall. I got a beautiful 30-minute squeeze back here. This was, I believe, on Wednesday. All right, call wall at 140. Picture perfect 30-minute squeeze. All right, white arrow, big push. They're popping. And the high of day on that candle, 140 to the exact penny. And they pull back, they chop, they rebuild. They get another 30-minute squeeze, another white arrow. They try going for the push. The high of day on that candle was 139.99. Big spot. But now things get, I think, a little bit more interesting for Monday and this week. Call wall going from 140 into 150. So now the question becomes, can they take the daily 1 hour, 15-minute, 5-minute squeeze, get it and keep it through 140, and then kick off that path towards 145, 150? And the expected move here for this coming week is about $8. Which wouldn't get you exactly to that 150 call wall, but you at least get into the cul-de-sac, the neighborhood. So that one Monday morning, we shall look at the 1 hour squeeze. And on the 1 hour chart, if we got that green launchpad label, I think I want to jump in and buy it. Mama market willin'. Squeeze white arrow at the buy zone. If I'm wrong, shouldn't hurt too much. If I'm right, hallelujah. All right, from Palantir, we can jump over to our JP Morgan trade. So JP Morgan's got the call wall at 270. And then looking back on Wednesday's price action, a couple squeezes fired on lower time frames, little pop. The high of day was 269.62. So therefore, if we're going to get a breakout and a paycheck here, got to get it and keep it above the 270. But yeah, I think all things being considered, this holds up really well. Little pop, little pullback, no break of your 21 EMA, no breaking momentum. This remains a launch pad setup. Squeeze white arrow and the entry. Now that being said, for a breakout, we would like better action across our lower time frames. Another theme of the week we just had. Your weekly charts look awesome. Your daily charts are bullish. It's these 15-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute, hourly. They've all gotten a little neutral, tired, a little bit sloppy. All right, 4-hour neutral, 2-hour neutral. 15-minute chart goes bearish. 5-minute chart goes bearish. Keep it above that 21. Cancel out the sell signals. Get a 15-minute buy, 30-minute, 1-hour buy. Above that 270, we got a paycheck. If they can't do that and they do break their 21, we shall cut her loose. Palantir daily squeeze, JP Morgan daily squeeze. Jumping over to some crowd here. So crowd ranks out nicely. Nice strong score. And then you have a 4-hour, a 1-hour, a 30-minute, and a 5-minute squeeze. And what I would like would be a white arrow on the 4-hour squeeze, the 30-minute, the 1-hour. Could make for a nice spot jump in and get long. Right now, no 30-minute white arrow, no hourly white arrow. Not too far off, though. Could have it at the open. And then on the 4. No white arrow yet, but not all that far off. So we shall keep crowd on the Monday morning watch list. Next up is, you got that Philip Morris. This has kind of been an object in motion staying in motion. Big push, they pull back, they chop, they push, they pull back, they push, they pull back, they push. No huge squeeze setting up there, and then Spotify. All from the top bulls here. So Spotify, we caught that nice daily squeeze from back here. Didn't leave too much on the table. All right, any continuation for a spot? There's a weekly squeeze, a 2-hour, and an hourly. Nice weekly squeeze. Not quite the launch pad setup. Squeeze white arrow, a little bit above that buy zone. But in terms of continuation, if they do go and fire that long, maybe it's a move into 750-ish. And then drilling down to the 1-hour and the 2. Monday morning, Tuesday, Wednesday. White arrow on the hourly, white arrow on your 2-hour. And that can make for a nice spot to jump in, get long. And then try to catch that bigger move off of the weekly squeeze. So Spotify looking pretty sharp. We got some DoorDash. DoorDash myself a little Chipotle yesterday. So Dash, the initial leg higher. Now you're kind of caught in chop. You have a 4-hour, 2-hour, hourly, 15-minute, 5-minute, and a weekly squeeze. I think the star of the show here, as far as your immediate direction, it's got to be that weekly squeeze. Squeeze white arrow, not on the launching pad. So I don't think I come in and buy a bunch of 60-day till expiration calls and expect nothing but an immediate breakout, no drawdown, no headache. That could happen, of course. But if I'm going to buy the thing up here at 218, I got to like it down here at 200. I look at it a little bit more and think, all right, if they can fire that weekly squeeze, that should give you a short-term path up into 230, 240. Now, with a shorter-term mindset, how can I jump in and catch that path? You watch your weekly squeeze, you wait for it to fire. Then I think you work in and out on a 4-hour time frame, 1-hour 30. All of the lower time frame squeeze action. So that being said, a white arrow on either the 4-hour, 2-hour, 1-hour, or the 15-minute. That might be a spot to get long some Dash. And 4-hour chart needs a momentum shift. That's all she needs, though. 2-hour chart needs momentum. Yeah, if DoorDash can find a gas station for Monday morning, might be a little action on that one. And a couple more here, guys. Not too much this weekend. Got that ABT setting up. And ABT's got a launch pad on a few different time frames. Weekly squeeze, a 3-day, a 2-day, a daily, and a 4-hour. Check in the weekly. No white arrow yet, almost. And then the 2-day squeeze. Green launch pad, squeeze, white arrow at the buy zone. Daily squeeze launch pad. White arrow at your buy zone, and then the 4. A launch pad on the 4. Squeeze, white arrow. Not directly on top of your 21 EMA, but not too far from it. If we're catching it up here around 137, 138-ish, too late for the good entry. So yeah, ABT is pretty clean here. I like that multi-time frame squeeze point of view. 4-hour chart gets it going. The daily squeeze keeps it going. 2-day squeeze keeps it going even more. But yeah, all things to point back towards S&Ps and QQQ. If it's a Monday morning where we wake up and we're taking out the 21 EMA, 30-minute charts, 30-minute charts flip bearish, hourly charts flip bearish. There might be a few good-looking setups on the board. Tough to want to buy them without the indexes behind them. Monday morning, S&Ps are above their 21 EMA, QQQ above its own 21 EMA. They're canceling all the sell signals, they're getting fresh buy signals, got good internals, VIX dropping. All right, now I'm looking to buy some Palantir, some Spotify, maybe some Nvidia, Netflix. And if you wake up Monday morning and we're above our 21 EMA, but no 30-minute buy coming through, no 15, no hourly. VIX is kind of stale, internals kind of quiet. That might be a great morning for a dog walk. If we're above that 21 EMA, yeah, I want to get long. Trying to buy the S&Ps, trying to buy some QQQs, any name showing leadership. But I don't got to be the first guy to do that. It's a matter of a level, a setup, and a trigger. What I think we got last week as far as swing trading goes is closer to good levels. Netflix pulls back to 21 EMA. Meta not too far off. All right, now we got some levels to anchor to. From there, can we get the setups and the triggers? But all right, y'all, that is the bulk of what I got for you. Easy peasy this weekend. Bigger picture, no change. You got great looking weekly charts, great looking monthly charts, daily charts. Shorter term, yeah, things have cooled off a bit. Not to a point where me personally, not accounting for news, just price action for price action, structure for structure. We haven't gotten to a point where I'm expecting a bloodbath Monday morning. It's a little bit more. Your 5-minute charts are getting sloppy. 30-minute kind of tired. 1-hour chart a little tuckered out. Let the market take that breather. Let them pull back to their buy zones. Maybe get some brand new daily squeezes. You all know the cue to get long from here. And then only remaining thing would be a quick peek here at the eco calendar. And what do we got? Wednesday. Jobless claims, interest rate decision, and the one they call Jerome. Very interesting. Jerome speaks at 2:30 on Wednesday, and then the market is closed on Thursday. We'll see what Jerome's got to say. Does he wear his blue tie or his red tie? But yeah, jobless claims on Wednesday, the interest rate decision, the Powell. Market closed on Thursday, and then Friday's more of a normal Friday. But all right, guys, we are long JP Morgan. We are long Coinbase. Few things on the board, but yeah, want to be in a position of patience on Monday. See what they got, take it minute by minute, hour by hour, and try to finish up here strong for the month of June. But if y'all got any questions for me, chart requests, want to look at a few of the spot gamma levels, I've got you covered.